right. Sorry about that. We lost power, but we're back. So we were doing these books here, and we have the metaphysics of mathematics. We got this inside the third volume. There's a piece of parchment containing some text, but then it just says beyond skeletons. So the study, moving to the study, a desk riddled with rot, 3 drawers, um, just some documents, receipts for purchase of chemicals and laboratory equipment, which is important. And then potions of healing, which are just, we're going to have that just be like a, uh, you know, painkiller or steroid kind of thing. And we have 5 is the living area, which has mushrooms growing, which is kind of creepy. Um, and then inside the cavity within the fireplace is some quartz, which is just kind of interesting. Um, so it's easy to go from this area in room 6 to anywhere up here. You can see that that it's broken. 7, the dining room. It's broken on the floor, chair sits against the walls, and there's a heap of broken dishes in the corner. As if it's been looted. It's interesting. So 8, 2 stuffed armchairs. Covers of both have been torn and stuffing has been pulled out. Wooden frames are intact. And then broken tables on the floor. So there's another fireplace with a stone out of place. Removing the stone. Notice a collection of mouse bones spilling out from the hearth. So that's interesting. There's just bones. So that kind of tells you what kind of experiments they were doing. It's like they were like trying to keep the bones uh, intact and alive and working. Maybe one of the bones is covered in metal, so it's area 8. So we can do that. 8. Okay, that's not what I want. Area 8. What's it called? Withdrawing room. Have one mouse skeleton covered in metal, which I like. Alchemical powders. So it's going to be like, I don't know, I guess like salts maybe. The kitchen is dirty and damp, with patches of mold, cobwebs on the floor. Next to it, under the window, is a cracked and discolored stone sink. A cupboard. And there's centipedes that nest under the floor below the sink. So they come up through a hole in the foundation beneath the kitchen, and the centipedes skitter up the drain, enter the room, and attack anyone. So they come out of the drain. So that's cool. I like that centipede encounter. Then the scullery is where the other magic mouth is. And those stairs lead down, I think. Because these lead up. Yeah, those lead up. And these stairs lead downwards. So what's 18 then? 18's broken stairs. Along the north wall, a staircase descends to the lower ground floor. So there's a third floor, or a second floor above. Because where's 19? Nineteen's not here. Okay, so there's just the attic. And there's the Sturges. So, gotcha. Not mapped. The attic is not mapped. Okay. Well. Upper floor. $11. You got the moldering room. Wardrobe. So yellow mold. Yellow mold is fun. Grows in dark places. If yellow mold will poison people. And it's very dangerous, especially at low levels, especially at first level. So you can take an average of 5 poison damage at the start of every turn. But going outside gets rid of it. But it's a DC 15 con save. So it's very, very dangerous at low levels. Inner folds are covered in mold. So very bad. 12. You got rubbish. This is just an empty room. Guest bedroom 13. So the guest bedroom here has got more spiders. Character who succeeds while examining the bottle realizes it might be part of a set of similar crystals of counterweights. Crumbling bedroom. It's from here this early signal. Fresh scratches on the sill. The signals can't be seen from the door. So, but you can fall through the floor. Ned is bound and gagged. So Ned tells the characters Ned's a spy. He's got the spy stats. He's got a single dose of basic poison, which is less deadly than the we had before. Does he have like a something? Yeah, he's got a crossbow, so he can poison someone with the crossbow. Traveler from Seaton. Where is Seaton? He's got to know. Do we know where's Burl? Burl's Seaton. So he traveled from Seaton, entered the house to find a place to sleep. He entered through the back door and had only reached the kitchen when he was attacked from behind and knocked unconscious. So let's just have Ned talk about it being a ghost. So who is Ned's merchant mentor? We have to figure that out. Who is Ned's merchant mentor? Someone wants the money. And then we go to the bedroom here. What I don't like about this is they could not find Ned immediately. So the chest, timbers split and its lid closed. Chest is not locked. Inside is moldy, ragged clothing. Box room. There's a porcelain doll with jade eyes. Okay, so that's cool. Haunted house. So now let's go to the cellar. Let's see how that is. We already changed some things because this whole area doesn't really make sense. But area 20 is where they will probably end up. It's the only way down. Well, this is how you get to the cave. So the cellar and the cave don't connect, which is interesting. Yeah, so if Sanbalay wants to get to here, that's interesting. So shoulder height wooden bottle racks line the northwest walls here. Against the east wall, two large metal storage bins. What secret door? Is this supposed to be a secret door? Okay, it doesn't look like it. That's a secret door. This is okay. So there is a secret door, it's just not marked. It's kind of annoying. Like this one has a red S. Why didn't they just put it there? See, I could do that. I could copy paste. Just put that there. Rotate it. And move it there. So, oh, it does connect because they forgot to put a freaking, that's so rude. Okay, well, let's make sure it's on the right layer. It's important that it connects, that they don't have to go upstairs. And there's torches, which I like. I like the torches. That's very cool. Because I like the dynamic lighting part of this game, part of Roll20. It's partly why I use it. So we got bottle racks in 20. No more wine. There's a label of a jauntily dressed unicorn. Rare vintage unicorn wine, I guess. Corpse. There's an adventure. So there's a corpse just chilling. That's kind of gross, actually. But there's grubs inside. Plate mail is banged up, the result of being beaten to death. There's a smuggler in Area 21. Okay. So there's no lights in the cellar, but there's lights in here, which is going to give off. Converted into living quarters, 10 crude beds, each with a one locker. So they're kind of organized. Cook stove is installed near the table. Evidence of recently cooked meal. So this is when the gig is up. So this is all very good. This is exactly what I want. So Sam Belay has private quarters. The small room is furnishings, comfortable looking bed. On the table, a brass 3-branch candlestick with burning candles provides the room with bright light. Characters have avoided alerting the smugglers. Otherwise, the room is vacant. Sam Belay's books. So he's got a volume of erotic poetry. I like that they try to make the tough guy sensitive. In total of 100 miles of coastline is covered. A treatise concerning the demigod Ayus and his minions. Inside the third book is a sheet of parchment and their equivalents. Keywords to instruct the hobgoblin mercenaries. So the hobgoblins don't speak common. That's interesting. So they're probably hired muscle. There's a signaling system here. What is... Okay, that's not a handout that we have. Player handouts. Is the system down here? No. Is it included online? We're in 22. So this is where we find the lantern. Flint and steel. A piece of parchment that details communicating. See this in the second part of this adventure. Okay, so it's here. The sea ghost, the plan, the signaling system. So long, short, long, short. So we'll do that in a second. But we have that. We know the skeletons are going to be metal, which I think is cooler. They've got compounds applied to their bones. And then we'll have this guy who's got gold. He's kind of gold encrusted. He's going to come out and he's going to have a potion and he's going to throw an acid potion, which is going to suck. And then we have this unlucky stone, which I think it's just funny that it's unlucky and not, like, if it's not lucky, having it just be a rock is better, I think, than having to be unlucky. So we might change that. Area 24, Alchemist room. The unlucky stone is actually just a rock. I like that better. Just a smooth rock that's going to be, they're going to be like, well, this must be awesome. They're going to say, we have a philosopher's stone. They're going to give it to someone. Three small copper pots. A bench runs down the west wall of what seems to be a laboratory. We already talked about the golden objects having these kinds of incantations that most people can't do. Would be very cool. All right, the caverns. So the caverns go towards the sea. We got torches. Sinister secret of Saltmarsh. Smugglers are caught off guard. Sand belay might be here. He's plotting. Nemesis, who prefers manipulation to direct action, is no accident that his gang occupies the house since the promise of hidden knowledge initially drew him here. Yeah, he just wants to, he's a confident guy. He delights in making money. He speaks of himself in the third person and exhibits narcissistic tendencies. That's weird. I don't know if I would do that. Green slime. We have more. So green slime is acid that drops on people. And that's here. So 26 is where some of the scouts are. 27 is a storage area. What is the treasure? So we got silk, brandy, and then stolen goods. Pipe of remembrance. Loaded dice. That's cool. Mariner's armor. What is a pipe of remembrance? Oh, that's kind of cool. The sloping passage. So it goes down, down, down. More treasure. Stock cavern. All right. Sea cave. So there's the jolly boat. Since the bolts of silken casks are cumbersome, the characters can use the boat to get to Saltmarsh. Saltmarsh. The town council will give them 200 gold. Meeting begins the second part of the adventure. All right. Let's read the second part. So now we have the sea ghost. Where is it? There it is. So, council will say, so, we destroyed the smuggler's ring, but they're probably expecting where are they getting their goods from, yada, yada, yada. So we need 400 gold to the characters for the conclusion of the mission. The council reasons the smugglers on the vessel are unaware of capture or death, and a return visit by them might be unexpected. Hello.
Well, oh,
Hello.
Was a Matt?
I am streaming right now. I'm streaming my prep for Ghosts of Saltmarsh.
Okay. Should we dip?
Um,
hello.
well,
Can
you
you
guys
hear
can
me?
talk about your characters. I can hear you.
Oh,
Well,
that's why.
we're actually
Oh,
talking about Hayden
there you
was
go.
trying to figure out what he actually wanted to make for his character.
Ooh.
So he's trying to figure that out right now.
I am gonna have, what's it called, Chris? Chris had a great idea, and I might just have to do that one.
I had a gimmick for him. It's
My
like
MC attitude.
he has like main character syndrome where he visions things like happening to him because he's the main character, but then you would like derail his vision of what's happening right after he makes like his statement.
So I try to relate this to characters from like Pirates of the Caribbean or like similar fiction. I feel like that would be like the Commodore, where he's like, "I am the guy in charge," but everyone else is like, "No, you're not. You're
I'll,
irrelevant."
you have to call me the Sniper King.
The Sniper King. What kind of class are you running?
No, I don't know. I'm just making a reference to One Piece because
Oh.
that's Usopp's entire mindset. He's the freaking captain. Well, that was before. That was what before Waterdeep
Let's
or Water
see.
7. What was it,
So I
Chris?
read Chris's.
I'm gonna change my battery real quick.
Uh, I liked Chris's quite a bit. Are you planning to run a warlock or a cleric?
So I just bought
Warlock.
Saltmarsh right now. Goes with Saltmarsh, so I can get some. I'm gonna be a cheap hole, and what is it? So I can
That's,
create a character in roll 20 completely.
yeah, it's just that I made my race a Asimar, so he has like the one cleric ability, like just the one thing that I can heal people
Okay.
with.
Which packs in roll 20 would you recommend to get more like out of the character creation?
Which packs?
Yeah, or just
Uh,
The player's handbook.
adventures. Okay, so I have that already. All right.
Adventures or
I mean,
or
I got
extended.
Tasha's.
So there's Tasha's, there's Xanathar's, there's um. Of course, you can do everything manually as well. Like you can do it homebrew. Um,
Yeah,
Xanathar's, Tasha's. There's Mordenkainen's multiverse of everything, or something like that. I forget what it's called.
And there's
yeah.
Erebon
I do have all
for
the player's
Artificer.
handbook. Let's see what else.
You should just look up the books and see what classes are in each of them before you get them.
I
I
would
would
just
Actually,
recommend
look
that.
up the classes, and then so like a good reference is we're also running 2024. Like we're doing the full thing, which is backwards compatible with 2014.
okay.
Um,
Got the
I
monster man.
use I use Wikidot for most of my references. So classes. Interesting. So artificer, bard, blood hunter, cleric, druid. Which one do you want? Like do you know which class?
No, not.
Okay.
I haven't really decided yet. I might
So like
see.
wizard like has the school of graviturgy, which is from Critical Role, so it's in their book called Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. Um, or warlock has like this doesn't have the new ones. That's okay. Which the undead warlock is from Van Richten's guide. Um, what is Kaladesh? Oh, there's a pyromancy sorcerer from Kaladesh, which I don't even know. That's the first time I've heard about that. Swashbuckler Rogue is from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I would recommend that. I think it's also included in Ghosts of Saltmarsh.
Okay. What is it called?
Swashbuckler Rogue.
Okay. And that should be included in Saltmarsh, right?
I think it is. Let me check. Chapter 1. Player supplemental material. I don't know. There's a lot of backgrounds in Saltmarsh too. I think it is included. I think they.
Okay.
Ranger has like Monster Slayer Conclave.
I was thinking about buying Curse of Strahd to get some of the stuff from there. I like the Monster Slayer.
The Monster Slayer.
I was looking at that.
That's from Xanathar's Guide.
Oh, is it? I'll probably
Yep.
I'll probably get Xanathar's Guide.
Monster
Where's that
Slayer
at?
Conclave. Xanathar's has a lot of stuff. Xanathar's was like their first DLC pack.
The XA, is it Z or X for Xanathar?
X.
Okay.
Xanathar is a
XA.
beholder. He lives in what's the name of it? Waterdeep.
Okay.
He's the
Yep, Xanathar's Guide to Everything. All right.
yeah, he's the leader of a thieves guild called the Eye.
Oh, there's a 2014 player bundle that has that. The Player's Handbook 2014, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and then Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
That the 2014 player bundle might be your best bet. It might just have all of the player options.
And would that switch over to 2024? Is it
so 2024 only has like the four classes, the four subclasses for each class that are new.
So what I did was I made
play
a 2024 character, and you can still choose 2014 classes and stuff,
Yep.
but it would just use the 2024 leveling
Yep.
instead of the 2014.
I'm pulling out Ghosts of Saltmarsh because I'm pretty sure it does have the Saltmarsh. So it just has the backgrounds. It doesn't have. They should have just put the subclass in there. I don't know why they wouldn't. There's some things like that irk me because it's capitalism. But
yeah, there'd be no point to buying this one if it doesn't transfer over to the 20.
Oh no, it certainly does.
Okay.
No, it does. Like you can choose the 2014 class, and then it just it automatically transfer it into a 2024 leveling.
So if I go into the 2024 like character creator, it'll transfer all this.
Yes, that's what I did.
Right.
I already made my character in 2024, and I still have the Fathomless Warlock.
Yeah, they would have lost so much money if they didn't do that.
Hey, I'll get that.
People would be up in arms. They would be so mad.
Especially for like a half increment of it. If it was like a 60 or something, then they might be okay with it. But not a 5.5 or whatever they're doing with this.
Yeah.
No, they don't want to do a 6E because they're making more money with 5.5. Sixth
Yeah.
edition would be if they thought of a new way to change the game, and five people like five. I
Oh,
can't find my player's handbook. I don't know where it is. Um,
all right. I'm gonna pause this for now because John and I are gonna play some Black Ops Zombies
you and
3.
you and Chris are, or you and
No, John and I.
uh,
This is the one. It's the same stuff, babe. Same stuff.
Yeah. So, do I need to change anything about my background for my character at all, Matt?
honestly, no.
Okay.
Um, your stuff is cool.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Um,
I spent way too much time. It was like my obsession for like 2 weeks straight, and I did that.
yeah, I know.
So,
Um, I like that he kind of comes from the good side of things, where he's like, I want to be a traveling merchant. I want to do this. Um, and then,
Oh, just help yourself, huh?
I
Now I'm
like
gonna
that
give him
you
a
live in
purple.
Saltmarsh because I think at least one person should live in Saltmarsh and be from there.
yeah, I
God,
figured
this is
it'd
rough.
make more sense than just being a random merchant showing up. I feel like having ties makes it a lot easier to.
Yeah, but you also have like a backstory that if you were to go back out into the world, you might run into.
Yeah.
Um, no, yeah, this is much more open ended than Curse of Strahd. This whole story, like I want to basically make it so that if you go out into the ocean, you can find anything. That's kind of the goal.
That's pretty
Okay.
awesome.
Um, yeah, I want to make it more open ended, more random. I'm changing the whole map though because the map they provided is 2/3 land, and I think
Huh.
that's stupid. It's for a seafaring adventure. Um, and I want to. So there's other things I want to say is I want to make this a low magic campaign.
Okay.
Where magic isn't like it's not like Harry Potter where you like it's very structured. Um, it's gonna be more of a rare thing. But I
The fact
also
that
want to
you
make
ate
it.
syrup is kind of a bad idea. Sorry.
I also want to make it steampunk a little.
Okay.
Because why would we run medieval times piracy when we could do cannons? That's
Yeah, that
my
makes sense.
idea. So Treasure Planet kind of vibes. Yeah, I don't know where my player's handbook is. It's really pissing me off now. I know I put it somewhere.
Excuse me. And pick the map, man.
But
Where is it? Private game. So I have all these maps. Let's see. These are Black Ops 3 maps. This is a one. These are all old ones right here. Black or what that war ones. Um,
I think Fathomless works
Black
for you
Ops
as
2 map.
well.
Let's see.
It's
These are all
very
modded.
easily here.
People created those ones.
So, what did you guys do with my player's handbook? Can't find it.
This is a good one right here. Ready?
What difference is it?
You don't set a difficulty. There's not a difficulty in Black Ops 2. No, there's not. For zombies? Some weird shit right there.
I think there is a difficulty in Black Ops 2.
That's what Adriana said. Yeah, I guess there is. Please let me be on the left side. Okay. Oh wow, dude. Yeah, multiplayer isn't so bad when you go vertical on the. Can you see yours? Just fine. When
I
you go
found
vertical on
it.
You buy a gun right off the bat. You don't have to.
Let me